Welcome to Prescott Valley. We have a great show for you today.
Our special guest today is not only an actress, a singer, but she's also the executive director of New Horizons. Let's find out more when we get to talk with Liz Toone. Liz, welcome to Prescott Alive.
Oh, thank you so much.
Liz, tell us what New Horizons is.
Well, we are one of 5 centers for independent living in the state of Arizona. There are over 500 such centers nationally. We are non-residential, and we have programs and services to help the disability community at large, and by that I mean any type of disability, live as equal community members.
And I noticed that you have transportation services for those with disabilities. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Oh, definitely. We started with one donated minivan 9 years ago. And our fleet is now numbered at 9. We have 8 vans and 1 sedan. We have 4 vehicles that are equipped with wheelchair lifts. And this all started because we did a survey of our consumers and found that the biggest hindrance to independence was transportation.
Is this available to individuals or groups or?
Both. We do occasionally, we actually had some members of the Yavapai Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired asked if we could pick up with a couple of vans some of their folks and take them to an event. So we will do group transportation, but mainly we take people to essential appointments like doctor's offices, grocery stores, that sort of thing. We have several folks who have developmental disabilities who work in sheltered workshops, so we'll pick them up at home every morning, take them to work, pick them up in the afternoon and bring them back home. We actually provided during our last fiscal year, which ended September 30th, 15,003 rides. And
wow, incredible.
Yeah, we put over 161,000 miles cumulatively on our vehicles, and that, I figured it out, believe it or not, is enough to have traveled the circumference of the earth almost 6 times.
So that's incredible.
And
that's just in
pretty
the
much in
Prescott Valley area?
Well, we'll do an occasional trip to Phoenix for someone to see a medical specialist, but mainly that's right here in Yavapai County, in West Yavapai County.
Are your drivers volunteers?
No, we decided some time ago that we would pay our drivers. They don't make a whole lot of money, bless their hearts, but so many of our rides are so important. We have several of our consumers attend dialysis 3 times a week. And volunteers are wonderful, but they have a little bit more leverage of saying, you know, I just can't come in today. So we need, you know, we gave that little bit of pay to our folks, so as incentive to actually come to work, and they do. We've got a wonderful staff of drivers. We have a transportation coordinator and an assistant. There's a dedicated phone line for transportation, and it's such an essential service. And you know, in our community, we don't really have any kind of regional transportation whatsoever. Yes. We have that little city bus, but you know, that's very limited. So it's very important, particularly when you're unable to drive, if you have a disability, if you have a medical condition, if you're frail due to age and can no longer drive. It's a service that is greatly needed in our community.
So how then does one sort of sign up where they can make use of this service?
Well, they need to call our office and schedule a ride. We do have contracts with, for instance, Yavapai County, a long-term care, and the folks that are members of that organization, in other words, they're receiving Medicaid, their transportation to medical appointments is covered with that insurance. So if that's the case, then Yavapai County Long-Term Care will arrange for the ride for the individual, but it is open to the general public. God bless Kay, our coordinator, she puts this puzzle together every single day, trying to coordinate rides, trying to get as many people on the vans as possible, because it's such an incredibly expensive program to operate. We receive Hardly any kind of subsidy. Yavapai County does bless us with local area transportation funds, the LTAF funds, with a few $1,000s each year. Those funds are, unfortunately, the state cut them out, they're going away. So we don't have that to depend on, and so basically any spare dollar, any unrestricted funding that comes into the agency, we throw into our transportation department, which kind of creates a catch-22 because we can't grow our other programs because we have to spend so much on transportation.
So if one were going to be using the service, what does an individual have to pay to be able to use it?
You know, we're not a cab service. We don't have the, whatchamacallit, the thing that taxis have. What is that called?
A meter.
Exactly. So all our rates are based in Prescott, from Prescott Valley, because that's where the vans are. So if you want to go anywhere and you live in Prescott Valley, it's $15. If you want to go anywhere and you live in Prescott, it's $25. And our rates increase from those points outward. However, we recently did a cost comparison and we are so much cheaper than a cab and some of the other providers in the agency. And we're trying to do that because we are a nonprofit and we're doing this as a community service, and we're trying to keep our rates as low as possible. But once again, it's extraordinarily expensive. The gas is going up, the maintenance, our contracts require that we carry huge insurance policies and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a tough program.
So when you're using this service, what kind of service do you get? If I'm using it to go to the grocery store, do they just drop me off at my front drive and, you know, drop off my bags there, or can they help me get in the house, or what?
Well, this is another area that makes our service unique. Our driver, if let's say you're an older person and you want to go to the grocery store, as you suggest, the driver will escort the person into the van from the home, escort them into the grocery store. When the groceries are have been shopped for, our driver will take the grocery bags, put them in the van, escort the person onto the van, take them home, unload the groceries, put them in the house. So it's pretty, it's what we call door through door, not door to door, not curb to curb, not portal to portal, but door through door service.
So if I were perhaps looking at something for another relative or something like that, this would be something that I could be rest assured that they would really be taken care of, and I know that they were left inside safely and they're not carrying heavy things up steps or walks or through snowdrifts or anything.
And that's another reason we so appreciate their drivers, our drivers, because they do go above and beyond the call of duty. And you know, we just did a survey of our passengers, and we didn't get a whole lot of surveys back, but we did. I counted 34 just yesterday. And they were glorious, and then people would put little comments down and how enjoyable the camaraderie is with the drivers, and how helpful, and they know their routes, and you know, and it warmed my heart to know that people found it not only useful but an amiable service.
So transportation is one of the major areas. What other kind of functions does New Horizon give to the community?
Yeah,
what kind of services?
I'm really interested in. I noticed on the website that there are computer labs that are accessible to the blind and low vision impaired.
Right. A person let me know about a software program that, well, it's actually a free program available on the web that is voice activated. So we had someone train on this program until he knew it inside and out. And he is able by appointment to sit down with a person who is visually impaired or blind and teach them how to access this program, which allows a person with a vision impairment to access the web, do research, read emails, you know, whatever. So it's a great program, and again, it's free.
It's pretty incredible when you think that you can access something that we take for granted until all of a sudden there's a stumbling block if you really can't see a screen well, or even if you're needing to learn basic skills as to how to move through on a computer.
Exactly. You know, a disability can strike anyone at any time, and people tend to lump people with disabilities together. as a almost like a race of people. But we have found, and what we teach, is that people with disabilities are no different than anyone else. They've just learned to do things in a different manner in order to accomplish the day-to-day activities of life.
What qualifies as a disability?
Well, the ADA has definitions.
So that would be the Americans with Disability Act.
Yes, right. Has definitions of what constitutes a disability, but it's pretty loose, really. And a disability is a personal thing. So as far as our service to individuals, if they come to our office and they say they have a disability and they need help in a particular area, we're going to help them. We're not going to ask for, a medical report or whatever, And
so it's basically what they need.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many different types of disabilities. You can be bipolar, you could have a brain injury, you could have a broken spine, you could be blind, you could be deaf, But we found that people with disabilities are like anybody else with the same wants and desires and needs as the rest of us, and they should be treated that way, and people shouldn't feel intimidated or feel that they're any less human than able-bodied people.
So in a sense, we're talking not only about people with permanent or long-term disabilities, but also someone who could be short-term disabled.
Exactly, exactly. We were talking earlier, Deb, about our durable medical equipment program. So suppose you have a daughter who has had an operation on her feet and she is in temporary need of a wheelchair, but your insurance isn't covering it. Well, you can call us, and we have people donate such items to us. And if we don't happen to have it, we're going to try to find it for you, and so we'll lend it to you. People give them to us, and we lend them out. If you want to give us
a charge.
No, if you want to give us a donation, great. We never turn down a donation, but we'll never ask for money for that sort of thing.
So actually, because this durable equipment would also be something for many of the viewers out there who have medical assistance equipment, maybe like shower benches and things like that, that they don't need anymore. Maybe someone's passed on, that these could actually be donated to New Horizons.
Right. If we can't accommodate the storage of it, we will pass it on to Catholic Charities.